This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
For your information, a reading program in Hazleton will help a record number of local kids this year. These kids helped out with it. Find out what it is and how you can help next. Good evening and thank you for joining us. We put the I in FYI along with some help from the Hazleton Standard Speaker. I'm Ken Kara, and before we begin, I want to thank you for your time. Now to the headlines. An officer was injured and 2 men arrested as the result of an undercover investigation in Hazleton. According to the Hazleton Police Chief Jerry Spezial, members of the Hazleton Police Department Narcotics Division arrested 38-year-old Rafael Nunez Azevedo of Hazleton and 29-year-old Jose Antonio Collado of Brooklyn, New York. The arrest came as the result of an investigation into drug distribution in the vicinity of 1st and Locust Street, which involved a silver BMW operated by Azevedo and passenger Collado. Police initiated a traffic stop around 3:20 p.m. yesterday. They say that Azevedo began throwing several bags of cocaine on the ground while resisting arrest. Police say he refused to comply with officers by fighting and physically assaulting officers. Officer Tom King was injured during the altercation. He sustained an injury to his wrist and was treated and released. 50 bags of heroin were seized. Both suspects face several charges, including unlawful delivery of a controlled substance. Chief Spezial issued a statement that read in part, quote, "The message should be clear. If you sell or attempt to sell drugs in our city, the men and women of Hazleton's finest will remove you from our streets and you will face swift and decisive justice," unquote. Speaking of the Hazleton Police Department, a special episode of SSPTV's Let the People Know will premiere tomorrow. The program will feature the new grassroots effort known as We Are Hazleton, a foundation created to benefit the Hazleton Police Department. Throughout the show, we hear from those supporting the cause, like Lauren Vito Sacco from Frankie's Pizzeria and Restaurant.
All of the advancements that are being made with the police force, with Mayor Jeff Cassat, and all the adventures that the city is starting to take are important for small and large businesses alike. If you want the community to grow, you get out of it what you put into it. People think the grass is always greener on the other side, and sometimes they laugh at me when I say, I think the grass is greener where you water it.
The program, hosted by Lisa Sugar, will highlight the kickoff event recently held in downtown Hazleton and the foundation's goal to raise $50,000 for much-needed equipment for the Hazleton Police Department. This special Let the People Know premieres tomorrow at 3 p.m. with additional broadcasts Saturday at 7:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. and Sunday at 11 a.m. on SSPTV, and it's available anytime at ssptv.com. It was a rather unique weather event as thunderstorms raged throughout the viewing area last night. This was some of the light show as captured by our Sam Lassant Jr. The severe weather did trigger some power outages throughout the PPL electric service area. In our area, approximately 340 customers were without power this morning, the majority in Butler Township and about a dozen in the Terrace section of Hazleton. Overall, PPL crews worked through the night to restore service to more than 20,000 customers. I'll let you know if any more severe weather is headed our way with the updated forecast from the National Weather Service a little later in tonight's show. March into Reading will wrap up on March 15th and 16th at the Greater Hazleton YMYWCA for the 5th year in a row. At that time, 50 local elementary students will be receiving a bookcase, and they will get 10 books that they get to pick out to put in it. Our intern, Megan Marcinkus, picks up the story.
Every year, students at the Hazleton Area Career Center make the bookcases for the March into Reading program run by Lori Tevlin-Klimo. This year, they were tasked with making a record 50 bookcases, so first-year construction technology teacher Stephen Hawley couldn't just ease into his new role, but he doesn't seem to mind.
There's a lot going in. I'm very proud of all the students here because they did put a lot of work into it. We're constructing them. The students got to use their routers, all different kind of saws, a little bit of sanding, priming, painting, nailing them, and using nail sets. So it's a really good educational project that we're doing too. And it's very nice, Mrs. Klimo, to really to do what she's doing, volunteering. Not too many volunteers out there, and she's into it full force. That's very nice.
Although it's Holly's first year, Tevlin-Klimo is an old pro. She explains how the idea for this project came about.
Began with an article in Parade magazine about a little town in Arkansas where this man decided to start a project where children could get homemade bookcases and books just to encourage reading. And I thought, what a great idea, what a feel-good project. It was in a little town of about 30,000, just like this one. And I went to Sue Farley at the Y, and we started the project then. And for 5 years, the Career Center has been making the bookcases. It's called March into Reading, Cool Cases for Kids. The community donates the books in the blue book bins that are around the community. And the bookcases this year, the material is paid for by the Quinn Foundation. We got a grant for the material for the bookcases.
Two of Holly's students gave us their thoughts on March into Reading and told us their favorite book from when they were little.
It's great. I think every kid should have an opportunity to have books. The first book I think back to was like One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish, or Is Your Mama a Llama?
I think it's pretty cool for them. I'd want one too. A Snowy Day, that was my book.
Book donations are being accepted up until March 4th in various blue bins around the community. For FYI, I'm Megan Marcinkus.
Thank you very much, Megan. The kids also get to decorate those bookcases. Very cool. Now, Lori Tevlin-Klimo wanted also to thank the Hazleton One Community Center and Elaine Curry for donating over 75 books to March into Reading. Remember, you have until the end of next week to donate a book at the Y in Hazleton, the Hazleton Library on Church Street, the Hazleton Jewish Community Center, Cunningham United Methodist Church on Main Street in Cunningham, and Washco's Pharmacy on Wyoming Street in the city. In other news tonight, Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf supports a proposed vote to legalize medical marijuana. Today, the governor issued a statement regarding House Majority Leader David Reed's decision to hold a vote on the legislation. The measure, known as Senate Bill 3, is expected to be brought up for a vote when lawmakers return from recess the week of March 14th. The governor supports legalizing the use of medical marijuana and says, quote, "It is long past time to provide this important medical relief to patients and families across the Commonwealth." Now, the bill passed the Senate last May by a vote of 40-7. If passed by the House, it is expected to go back to the Senate because of amendments. Do you have suggestions on how to make government more efficient? Here's your chance to share them with Harrisburg. The State House Majority Policy Committee has unveiled PenSave, an effort to find ways to cut government waste and inefficiencies. As a result, the public is encouraged to submit ideas and strategies. Visit the Policy Committee website and select the PenSave banner. In addition, a task force is also researching several potential cost-saving measures across state government, including possible state agency and program consolidation, unaddressed audit findings, government procurement policies, as well as overall waste, fraud, and system abuse. Well, coming up on FYI, Standard Speaker sports reporter Anthony Bellino gives us a preview of this weekend's District 2 Wrestling Individual Championships. And right after this break, the executive director of the Downtown Hazleton Alliance for Progress explains Hazleton's new Main Street designation from the state.
This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
The city of Hazleton was recently named as one of 20 communities in the entire state to have the Main Street designation. That came from the Department of Community and Economic Development, DCED. Here to tell us what this means for the city and its future is Krista Schneider. She is the executive director of the Downtown Hazleton Alliance for Progress, the organization which applied for this.
Yeah, we applied for it. And it's really a major milestone, not only I think for the city, but the whole greater Hazleton area. It's a major milestone, like I said, something that we've been working towards for 2 years now, starting with the planning, strategic plan and public engagement process that we started to kind of identify, you know, all the strategies, all the goals and that for the downtown. We applied for this designation. We're really honored to have it because what it means is through this recognition, we're eligible for priority status when it comes to grants and funding through state programs. Local businesses who are within the district can apply for what's called enterprise zone tax credits. That's a benefit to them. And then, in addition to that, other community or other businesses that are outside even the district within the greater Hazleton area that want to receive tax credits can partner with us on specific projects and programs. So we just see it as a really, a good tool for economic development. We see it as also just something to be proud of, for the city. Oftentimes there's so much bad news, and this is really something to celebrate. It shows that, the community is moving in the right direction and moving forward, and it's something to be proud of.
And it's showing that the state has faith in what you're doing by making you part of that program.
Right, yeah. We're the only one in Luzerne County. There are other Main Street programs, but we're the only designated one in the county. So we're proud of that. And we had to go through a rigorous, process. The biggest thing is you have a good organization, you have sustainable sources of funds, and we have an aggressive, fundraising program thanks to the community who's been there to support us, through donations and, through other foundations and private grants. And we have, a clear set of strategies and projects that we're working on to move things forward.
And we see what's going on in the downtown. We see with D'Angelo Brothers, and we see with the Arts Center that will hopefully be opening up soon.
Yeah.
But this is not just Broad Street in downtown
No.
Hazleton, you said.
No, everybody thinks of the downtown just as Broad Street, but the district, the designation for the Main Street program is associated with a boundary, a geographic boundary that is quite a bit larger than just Broad Street. It goes all the way up Wyoming Street, almost all the way to, I think it's Chestnut, south to Chestnut, and it encompasses, the significant core of the downtown beyond just the central commercial business district. Yeah.
Well, this is great news for Hazleton. Please come back and update us on how things progress, and I hope that you have a lot of luck in future grants for the downtown.
Thank you very much.
Krista Schneider, the Executive Director of DHAP.
Time now for FYI News 13 weather.
I asked our intern Megan if this was a good spot for a weather shot, and she said, so I'm sorry, I'll do better on another day, everybody. We do have another hazardous weather outlook today, as rises are still occurring along rivers and streams. On smaller streams and creeks, water levels should crest this morning, so there's potential of localized minor flooding. So to the forecast tonight, a chance of rain and snow showers before 8 p.m., 40% chance, then a chance of snow showers, mostly cloudy, a low around 20 degrees. New snow accumulation of less than a ½ inch is possible. For Friday, mostly sunny. We'll get up near 29 degrees and have a wind up to 17 miles per hour. Friday night, partly cloudy. Our low will be in the upper teens. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high in the mid-30s. Saturday night, partly cloudy with a low of 29 degrees. On Sunday, it's a nice day, mostly sunny with a high near 48 degrees. Sunday night, partly cloudy, low of 37. And then on Monday, we have a 30% chance of rain and snow showers before 10 a.m. Then a chance of rain showers, partly sunny, high of 46. Monday night will be partly cloudy with a low of 25 degrees. On to the green screen, and your midday winning Pennsylvania lottery numbers: pick 282, pick 3024, pick 4 6800, and pick 5 91535. Coming up on FYI Sports, we'll introduce you to Anthony Bellino, the newest reporter for the Standard Speaker Sports Department. But before we go to break, here's Law Talk.
Hello and welcome to Law Talk. Today we're going to talk about a very oftentimes tragic but very important subject involving motor vehicle accidents, and in particular victims of motor vehicle accidents who have been victimized by a drunk driver. And Alexis spent 7 years as a prosecutor in the Luzerne County DA's office. She's very familiar with that, and she can bring you all up to date on what needs to be done if that unfortunate event should happen to you or a family member.
As my father mentioned, I did work in the Luzerne County District Attorney's Office for some time. During my time there, I did, for 2 years, head up the Vehicular Homicide Division, and unfortunately in those cases, a lot of times the individuals who were victimized by drunk drivers. So I have a lot of experience on the criminal side as being an advocate for these individuals who were victimized by drunk drivers. Now, in civil practice, I'm able to be an advocate for victims who are involved in drunk driving accidents. And I'm very aware of the fact that not only are these people affected in their work life and their family life, their entire lives have changed from that moment forward. A lot of times there are significant injuries. They can be catastrophic, again, to the work life and to the family life. And I offer the availability to work with law enforcement officers who are doing investigations on behalf of people who were involved in these types of accidents. And it's important to respect the work that they're doing, that being because the investigations that they're conducting certainly can be beneficial to the civil portion of a claim. So if you're involved in a drunk driving accident, give us a call. I'd be happy to sit down with you and speak to you regarding the concerns that you might have, as I'm very aware of the effects that it will have on your life from that moment forward.
This is FYI News 13 Sports.
It's time for another Dave Day, but sitting in for Dave this week, Dave sent over Anthony Bellino, the newest member of the Standard Speaker sports staff. And right off the bat, I'm going to tell people you need to follow this man on Twitter. He's funny. He will give you an insight into that Standard Speaker newsroom. All about Steve Stallone, you told me. You'll get a real life, it's almost like a reality show. And you'll also get some colorful updates from all the games that Anthony is covering. Anthony, thank you for being with us. Give us your background a little bit. You're a Temple grad, and you also went to high school a little north of us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And I did graduate from Temple in December of 2014. And I'm a somewhat local guy, graduated from Wyoming area in 2010. And for the record, the insight on Steve Stallone is solely because he doesn't have a Twitter and we'll never see it. So
it's a good time, man. It's a good staff at the Standard Speaker. One team you've been covering, the Hazleton area wrestling team. Great season for them. Came up short at Wyoming Valley Conference as a team in the championships there and in District 2. You covered that meet. What was it like from the team? Were they let down after you, or what did Coach have to say after the District 2 meet?
I mean, the District 2 meet, when they lost to Scranton, we had a quote from Keith in our paper that we got from Scranton saying, you know, he had never seen so many close matches go the wrong way. And that's kind of how it was. The final score may not have been close per se, but if you look at the individual matches, there were a lot of points that swung the wrong way for them. And then in the consolation final, the third place match at Pitt Area, I was there in person, and it was really amazing to see both Hazleton area and Delaware Valley, the pride that they carried themselves with wrestling that day, despite not wrestling for a title, which, you know, was both of those teams' ultimate goals at the beginning of the season. And yeah, the guys from Hazleton were let down because, you know, honestly, it was very close there at the end. Jake Maurer needed a pin to clinch third place, and he was very close on two separate occasions. But, you know, they carried themselves very well both before, during, and after the match.
How good was wrestling in District 2 this year? It seemed like Hazleton had an outstanding team. The fact that they came up short, you know, amazes me. Does it speak to the talent in this region?
I mean, the talent's been very good this year. Tunkhannock has rolled through everybody. Scranton was very good, and Hazleton has as deep of a roster as they've had in a long time. So it's going to be great to see more wrestling this weekend at the individual tournament with District 2. But, I mean, wrestling is just very good as a whole right now, top to bottom, really.
Yeah, I remember covering Jimmy Hoffman when he was a young man in youth wrestling, up to this level now, going after maybe even a state championship. What have you seen out of him this year? Have you been impressed with Jimmy Hoffman?
Jimmy's been very impressive. I mean, he's a class act, great guy to talk to, but just to watch him operate is amazing. And, you know, it's going to be great to see him come into the District 2 tournament because he's got a big challenge in the kid from Scranton, Ivanitsky's his name. Both are last year's district champions, at Hoffman at 126 and Ivanitsky at 132. And the kid from Scranton actually got Hoffman in the District 2 meet between the two of them 3-1. He got him in the last couple minutes. So I have a feeling Jimmy's going to carry himself into that meet with a little chip on his shoulder. So it's going to be great to see how it plays out. But he's been nothing short of impressive, picking up his 100th win and more times than not dominating the competition this year.
You told me too, Chris Lasecki coming back. He's a defending champion as well. Good chances in this bracket?
To be quite honest with you, I haven't looked through the whole 126 bracket. I'm sure there's kids from Tunkhannock that are looking, that are going to be a tough challenge for Chris. But the thing that's been interesting with him was he was the district champ last year at 113, and this year he's bumped up 2 weight classes to 126. And the beginning of the year, he kind of struggled a little bit with the wins and losses. So he's really been catching his stride. He's won a couple close matches down the stretch, and he's just a fun kid to watch wrestle. You know, he's moving all over the mat, and I tweeted out, you never know what he's going to do next out there. So I'm really excited to see what Chris brings to the table this weekend.
Something that you told me that impressed me was Carson Kinney has really floored you this season and what he's been able to do for the Cougars.
Carson has been amazing, and I mean, Keith Maurer, their coach, has had nothing but good things to say about him. And I mean, he's been, outside of maybe Hoffman, it's a toss-up, their most consistent wrestler all year. He's really rolled through the competition. WVC champion at 195, and I'm fairly certain he was undefeated in the District 2 team duels. So he has a great chance to bring home a district title to Hazleton this year.
Last thing, have you been initiated into Hazleton? Did Dave take you down to Jimmy's or give you some Snaps Pizza? I mean, have you been properly welcomed to the area?
Well, funny story. One of my roommates was a Hazleton area graduate at Temple, so I had Snaps in college. I've been to Jimmy's, Frankie's. You know, it's great. I love the area. It's a pleasure to be here, and I've had great interactions with you guys. You know, the guys at the paper obviously are great to work with, and I'm really happy to be here.
At Bellino Speaker on Twitter. You will not be disappointed if you give him a follow. He will be covering a ton of sports throughout the spring and summer and forever, I guess, here at the Standard Speaker, as long as you choose to hang out with us Hazletonians. Thursday is $1 burger night at Bottlenecks. Get a juicy 4th pound burger for only $1 all night long.
Hey golfers, have we got the perfect vacation spot for you? Myrtle Beach. Signature Golf Packages builds and reserves the finest and most reasonably priced Myrtle Beach vacations. From scheduling your golf tee times to making your hotel accommodations. Oceanfront to golf course villas. Mark Passon, a Hazleton native, has been doing this for 10 years. Expect excellent customer service, local knowledge of all the courses, and the best golf vacation of a lifetime. Call now to learn all of the specials that Signature Golf Packages can offer you or your group. 866-462-9885 or book now at signaturegolfpackages.com.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. First tonight, the Greater Hazleton chapter of the Penn State Alumni Association will be hosting photos with the Easter Bunny and the Nittany Lion on Wednesday, March 2nd from 6 to 7:30 in the Pasco Shival Hall. Each family will receive one photo, and cameras are welcome for extra family shots. Chapter members ask that attendees bring pet supplies in exchange for the photo. All donations will be given to the Hazleton Animal Shelter. For more info, just call 570-450-3560. Our next announcement, the Laurel Mall is seeking a full-time maintenance janitorial associate. Position involves 45 hours per week from Wednesday through Sunday, 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. Applications are available at the management office. And finally, the FunFest 2016 kickoff concert featuring the Poets will be held Sunday, March 6th at 3 p.m. at Genetti's. Tickets are available in advance for $15 or $28 for a hot buffet luncheon and show. Tickets are available at the Chamber of Commerce, Metallo's Formal Wear, and at Genetti. For more information, please call 570-455-1509. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Robert S. Shalla of Ringtown. Funeral is Saturday at 10 a.m. from the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Friends may call Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. And Mary Hyduke of Hazleton. Arrangements will be announced by the Belts Petrilli Funeral Home. Attention pay-per-view subscribers, if you see your name right now on News 13, you'll have 13 minutes to call in and win a free movie from Service Electric Cablevision. Our winner tonight is Christina Quinn of Drums. Christina, if you're watching, give us a call, 570-455-7267, extension 104.
I've been uploading video to our Facebook page like crazy, so please check it out, facebook.com/FYI News 13. Hey, tomorrow in sports, we'll have more from Mark Brennan at FightOnState.com and also Anthony Bellino from the Standard Speaker. We'll see you then. Take it easy, everyone.